Hi, I'm Troy, the creator of the BlipBlox, and it's great to be here at Soundmit 2020. Thanks for stopping by our virtual booth here. Glad to have you. Thanks for Soundmit for having us. Usually we like to do live streams where we're interacting directly with our customers and friends, but since we can't do that today, we'd really like to encourage you to email us at info@Playtime Engineering if you have any questions at all. So even the smallest question, just give us an email and we'd love to chat with you. So today we're demonstrating the BlipBlox After Dark. So the basic details on this are that this will be available in December of 2020, and the retail price will be $199 US. And we have some other details we want to share about this, but first, let's just jump in and give it a listen and just have some fun with it. So as you can hear, the BlipBlox is really just a great device just to jump in and start having fun with synthesis. It's clearly made for kids. This is a follow-on to our original BlipBlox. So our original BlipBlox came out in 2018. As you can see here, this is the original design. And the original BlipBlox was really made as a toy for kids. So really allowed kids to get into synthesis with a fun, safe device. With the After Dark, we've taken a similar concept, but we really wanted to make it a professional synthesizer that adults can use just as much as kids. As you can see, it has a more mature styling. All the controls are labeled. And it has a bunch of sort of different features. So it has some of the key feature differences is that it has a resonant multi-mode filter. It has wavetable oscillators. It has sampled drums. It also has a stereo multi-tap delay. So, with this device, it's really a fun way that you can connect your music with your kids, and that's one of the main things we wanted to explore with it, was that using it, you can, if you're into synthesizers or if you're into music, if you want an easy way to get your kids into music with you, the BlipBlox is a great way to do it. So let's go through the signal flow of the BlipBlox, and I'll just give you a short tour of how everything works here. The main thing about the BlipBlox is that it has over 300 built-in melodies. So it's always playing a melody for you, and you hit the sequencer button to pull up new melodies. As you can hear, every time you press the sequencer select button, the drums go on and off. And you can change that also with the setting if you want to leave the drums off all the time. Here's the tempo lever, so this controls how fast it plays. The Sound Freak button scrambles all the notes from the sequencer. It's very fun. So from the sequencer, the notes go into the oscillator. So the BlipBlox has 16 different oscillator types. You can press the button to hear the different oscillator types. And within each of these oscillator types, you have all your different synthesis methods, such as pulse width modulation, sync, detune, and also the wavetable synthesis, which we'll talk about later. So each oscillator gets 2 modulation inputs, and you can select what modulates those 2 inputs, either from the 2 LFOs or the envelope, or the modulation envelope, where you have control of the attack. So let's see if we can hear some of that in action here. As you can see, when you select the different oscillator, the modulation types, the LEDs tell you what you selected. So right now we have just the knobs modulating the sound. You can tell up here these 2 purple LEDs show you the modulation amount going into the oscillator. So let's go ahead and try selecting. So here we've selected the modulation attack for one of the oscillator inputs. You can also select, let's try putting an LFO on one of these. So now you can see LFO1 here on this LED. You can also see it modulating the input number 1. It's actually going to the filter now. We'll change that. So you can see the intensity of that LFO modulation. We do the same with the other modulation input. So now they're both being modulated by LFO2 here. Or we can change that. So now they're both being modulated by different LFOs. That's fun. You can get a lot of good variation doing that. From the oscillator, the sound goes out to the filter. So with the filter lever here on the right, you have control of the cutoff frequency. And you can also control what modulates the filter. So now we have the mod attack modulating the filter. You can see that modulation here on the purple LED next to the filter. So you can hear the LFO. You can also change the filter type. You can hold down the filter button. Now we have a bandpass filter. We'll turn the modulation off here. So now we just have the lever modulating it. Then we hit it again, hold it down again. Now we have a high pass filter. Hold it again to go back to low pass. You also have control of the resonance of this filter. You can hold down the control button, control 2 button, and the LEDs sort of indicate for you to use the filter lever to change the amount of resonance. So now we'll go to no resonance, and then we'll crank the resonance up all the way. We'll put a little envelope modulation on there, just so you can hear that a little bit better. So do sort of a medium amount of resonance. Change up some of the sounds a little bit here. There's also a stereo multi-tap delay, so you can hold down Control 1, and this controls how much delay is added to the sound. So right now, this is completely dry. And we can hold this down, and we can just flood the sound with a bunch of multi-tap delay. So this is a stereo multi-tap delay, so if you're listening on headphones, you should be able to hear that stereo effect. Turn that down to just a little bit of delay here. And finally, there's the amplifier release knob. So with this knob, you can control how long the notes stay on. So the BlipBlox does have MIDI. So one of the nice features is that you can plug in an external keyboard or music workstation, or a drum machine, all of which we have here. So we're going to go ahead and do that real quick. We're going to turn off the internal sequencer. Get out our MIDI keyboard here. So we can fit everything into the shot. We'll make it a little bit wider. There we go. And got a MIDI cable here. You know, this is part of the fun of synthesizers, is just being able to pull together whatever gear you have in your studio and just plug it in, and thanks to MIDI, it all just works together nicely, and just have some fun with it. One of the nice things here is you can turn on the internal drum machine of the BlipBlox. Do that. And we'll put into drum solo mode by holding down the kick in the sequence. Pretty fun. I'm sort of more of an engineer than a musician, but you get the idea. One thing I also wanted to show you a little bit more on the BlipBlox is the built-in drums. So let's do that real quick. The BlipBlox does have a drum machine in it. And let's go ahead and get the shot set up here. You can edit the drums. You can hold down the snare and hit the randomize button. So now you have control over all the different drum parameters. So here we can select the drum sample and the pitch. And we can do that both at the snare and the kick. So we have our drum style then. We'll exit the drum edit mode. So that's pretty fun. There's a lot of different drum sounds you can explore there. So speaking of drums, I want to also show you how you can plug this into an external drum machine. So we have a Korg ER1 here. It's kind of an old drum machine. It's about 20 years old. But this is nice because maybe you have a studio with some old gear laying around, and maybe you don't use it much, and maybe you or your kids want to kind of fire up some of your old gear, and you can do it with the BlipBlox. So we'll go MIDI out of, get the MIDI plugged in here, go MIDI in to the BlipBlox. Okay, we'll exit drum edit mode here, and we'll just hit play. Oh, we got to plug in the ER1 here. Okay. The BlipBlox will stay in perfect tempo with your drum machine. So you just mess around a little bit, you get some good sounds out of it. It's pretty fun. So this is a good, easy way with some old equipment just to breathe some new life into it. But it also works really well with new equipment. So we're going to go ahead and stop this, and we're going to plug in a newer Korg device. And this is the new Korg Electribe. We really like Korg stuff. We work a little bit with Korg. We both have a shared interest in getting more kids into synthesizers. So, we are working a little bit with Korg to basically just see what we can do to get more kids into synthesizers. It's been fun. Synthesizers are easy enough to use that kids can play them, but there's enough depth and things to learn on them. So there's really a lot to learn and a lot you can do with them. I'll clean up my shot here a little bit. Okay, see if we can get it all in here. Okay, so we're going to change the mode of the BlipBlox because with the new Electribe here, we're going to be sending the MIDI notes from channel 1 into the BlipBlox instead of just synchronizing it. So we're going to turn off the ability of the BlipBlox to start with a MIDI sync command. So we have that set. So now let's pick up a pattern here and see what we can do. So now we have this is the Korg sound here. And we'll bring up the BlipBlox. What I'm showing here is just the BlipBlox can really work with an ensemble of synthesizers. So this is fun. So again, let's hear. We'll turn down the ER1 here, or the Electribe. So it's just the BlipBlox. Maybe some more resonance here. Then we'll bring in the Electribe. If you want to do a live set or something, you've got, this setup here is actually pretty fun because these are actually both battery-powered devices, and you can put the audio of the BlipBlox into the Electribe. So you can have a battery-powered live performance and with no mixer. So you come right out of the Electribe, essentially, and route the BlipBlox into it. On those really big sounds on the BlipBlox, you can go into a different filter mode, like the bandpass. It kind of tames those giant sounds a little bit. button there. It's a lot of fun. The sort of short bursts of sounds coming from the BlipBlox is kind of funny. You crank up the delay a little bit. Pretty fun. So again, we turn down the electro. See here, just the after dark. I just need some more resonance. And we'll bring in the electro again. I only have 30 minutes for this this virtual expo, but I could do this all day. It's just so much fun. I mean, a simple setup. You have the great sounds coming from the cord here, and just the great interactive fun of the BlipBlox. I mean, you just want to reach in there. You really just want to grab it and just like start having fun with it. So again, let's turn down the electrode. This is our after dark part. Dial in a good BlipBlox sound here. And bring in the electron again. Kind of a nice sound. So I think we'll end it on this, and I want to thank everyone again for stopping by here at Soundmit, and thanks to everyone at Soundmit 2020 for having us. Again, if you have any questions about the BlipBlox After Dark or the original BlipBlox, let us know. Again, the BlipBlox After Dark goes on sale in December, and for US $199. Our original BlipBlox, our more kids version, this is available now, so you can buy this anytime. I encourage you to check out all the other great exhibits here at Soundmit, and have a great day. And thanks again for coming by.